The heavyweight matchup we were all really looking forward to this Saturday, February 22nd, between Joseph Parker and Daniel Dubois is alas fallen apart. Apparently, Daniel Dubois became ill on Thursday night and the fight was called off by his team. Now, almost miraculously, Martin BAKOLE and his team decided to step in and take the fight on last-minute notice. Thank you so much to Joe818 for bringing this to my attention. I felt the intrigue between Dubois and Parker was that we had two very similar style fighters, both shorter for heavyweights, a little stockier, and both really known as power punchers. Now, depending on the shape that Martin BAKOLE is in, the Bakole-Parker matchup could prove to be just as entertaining. Joseph Parker will be defending his WBO Interim Heavyweight title. He's 35-3 with 23 KOs. Martin BAKOLE is 21-1 with 16 KOs. Joseph Parker's 3 losses come against very well-known foes such as Dillian White, Anthony Joshua, and Joe Joyce. Bakole's lone loss came versus Michael Hunter. Now, both men are coming off very impressive performances in their last couple of fights. Joseph Parker just put on a devastating performance and really just beat the heck out of Deontay Wilder in a 12-rounder, which quite frankly could have been stopped before the 12th round. And then Parker also came back from 2 knockdowns in his fight versus Zhang Jilei to win the unanimous decision, or the majority decision. I think many boxing analysts would agree that Parker looks much improved since he teamed up with trainer Andy Lee. Bakole is coming off a really terrific performance, eye-catching 5th round KO over the much highly touted Jared Anderson. Now, I have been mentioning for over a year that I felt that Jared Anderson didn't even deserve to be rated in the top 10, and I was really not, well, I was quite disgusted actually with Jared Anderson's sort of attitude towards his place and his role as a potential boxing world champion. Nevertheless, that shouldn't take away from Martin Bakole's spectacular performance against Jared. Highly technical, knew when to finish, and he dropped Jared multiple times before the referee did call it off in the 5th. Now, both Joseph Parker and Martin Bakole are power punchers, but in this particular case, you got to remember that Bakole has the mass advantage. He regularly weighs in at about 280 compared to Joseph Parker's 250. A second aspect that I think may favor Bakole in this matchup is the fact that Bakole is very good at mid-range distance. Bakole has really nice tight uppercuts, both left and right, and he flows very well with his combinations. Bakole also has very subtle, technical, defensive movement with his head. He can slip a punch, make you miss by like half an inch, and Bakole is able to do that to both left side and his right side. So that's a very advanced skill to be able to slip a punch so tightly. Bakole also makes good use of his breaking at the waist. Again, he breaks to the waist both to his left side and his right side to avoid punches. Now, Bakole has a small height advantage, probably just a couple of inches, but I think more significantly, Bakole has at least a 6-inch reach advantage. And that really plays well into his style of boxing versus somebody like a Joseph Parker. Now, on Parker's side, I feel like he should really try to he has to try to get inside, and he might have to endure eating a few punches to get on the inside and then just bang away at Martin Bakole's body. I would hope that he's able to land a body shot and then transition that straight up the midline to Bakole's chin. So body shot to uppercut, maybe with not even looking to see where the head is, because you know, generally speaking, the head is at the end of the neck's attached to the body. So if you hit someone in the body, you should be able to just shoot that hand straight up to the sky without even looking and hit them in the chin. Parker should try to do that type of combination, both lefty and righty, or double up on one side and then switch to the other just to keep Martin Bakole guessing. The typical pattern that many boxers are used to blocking would be just to alternate body shots from left to right and back to left. So what a more advanced fighter will do is they'll double or triple up on one side, just so the other fighter doesn't know that they need to keep blocking on the same side. Joseph Parker also has an excellent left hook, so you can mix that in along with his overhand right. You can mix that in with the body shots, again, just to keep Martin BAKOLE guessing as to whether an uppercut is going to follow after the body shot or a left hook, overhand right might follow the body shot. So in other words, left body shot, left hook to the head, or left body shot, overhand right, or left body shot, left uppercut to the chin. And then mirror image all of that on the right side. Now, surprisingly, in terms of footwork, I don't think either man has an advantage. I think people were shocked that Martin BAKOLE actually was not outsmarted by Jared Anderson's fancy footwork, in quotations. For a 280-pound fighter, Martin BAKOLE actually has pretty, decent footwork in that he is able to shuffle and do the shuffle step and bounce on his feet when needed. Now, no matter what the outcome of the fight is, in a sense, Martin BAKOLE wins, because even if he loses, we all know that he took the fight on zero notice. Now, Martin BAKOLE may not be in absolute top sharp form simply because he didn't know he was going to be fighting this Saturday, but I'm counting on him to be in decent form, because I don't understand why he and his team would agree to take a fight of this magnitude if he wasn't in halfway decent shape. Actually better than halfway decent, right? A second factor that plays to BAKOLE's advantage is that Parker was preparing for a smaller man, Daniel Dubois. I really feel like Joseph Parker should have, and company should have to revise their game plan versus the much larger Martin BAKOLE. But in a sense, because of the fact that Parker is a smaller man than BAKOLE, I don't feel like Martin is going to have to really come up with a specialized game plan just for Joseph Parker. As long as he has, in fact, been staying busy in the gym and getting in his maintenance sparring rounds, we have to figure that by probability alone, the majority of his sparring rounds would have been versus orthodox fighters, which Joseph Parker is an orthodox fighter. So, fight prediction. I'm going to go out on a limb here, simply assume that Martin BAKOLE is in great shape. As I said, maybe not absolute tip-top shape, but really good shape in order to have the confidence to take this fight. And I'm going to say Martin BAKOLE knocks out Joseph Parker in a big upset to claim the WBO Interim World Championship belt. Now, is this a sure fight or an outcome as I felt it was between Joseph Parker and Deontay Wilder? By no means so. I certainly feel that Joseph Parker could defeat Martin BAKOLE based on the fact that he has been in a hard training camp for, I would assume, at least several months. The lone question mark I have about Joseph Parker's preparation is it does seem that he spent a fair amount of time on his sort of behind-the-scenes video production for his eponymous YouTube channel. Now, while being on camera may not be physically draining for him, it is certainly, to a certain extent, mentally draining, number one, but even worse, when you're constantly thinking about what you look like on camera, that does take away your focus from what you see out of your eyeballs in front of you, which is where your vision needs to be for sparring and for a fight. You can't be in the ring thinking about, gosh, is this a good camera angle? I wonder how my combination just looked on camera. So I hope that Joseph Parker's devotion to his YouTube content didn't take away from his focus during his training camp. So I'm going to verbally bet on the underdog here. But who do you guys have in this great matchup? Last minute, albeit, Martin BAKOLE versus Joseph Parker. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for listening.